Good morning. How are you guys doing? This is Monday morning, and I am about ready to do the interview for the book of the week, author of the week, uh, Eagle is the Enemy by Ryan Holiday. Now, I see some of you have bought the book, so I'm sure by now you've gone through it and really dove right in because, again, like I told you guys, this book right here is just an amazing read. And I always, just absolutely always, and those who have worked with me will be or can attest to the fact that I actually always have them read this book. And the reason I do that is because we all have egos, okay? And when you have egos and they're unchecked, it can cause a lot of issues in a work relationship, a personal relationship, or any other kind of ship that you want to be involved in. So I always make sure that they read this so that we all can be clear to some degree on how to check our individual egos. Okay, so without further ado, and without any, you know, going into no great depth in the book, of course, that's why I require that you guys at least get the book and read them. I just wanted to say one thing before we get started with this. In regards to my food for thought segment that I did on Saturday but uploaded yesterday, was the fact that the Constitution, so that you guys understand, is the supreme law of the land. And this is my little Constitution book that I have, but I also have here, let's see here, where is it? Oh, okay, I think I put it up, but I have, oh no, I'm sorry, here it is, right here. Oh, wow, okay. I have both, okay? I have and this is a collector's item, that's why it's still in the wrapper. I do not take it out. And also all of my rare books, just so that you guys who are really collectors of books know, don't ever touch rare books or collector's books with your hands, okay? Always get you a pair of white gloves and do that. But you guys can see this is a amazing, beautiful book, and this is the Texas Constitution, and right here is the Constitution of the United States. Okay, so I have them both here on the desk to show you and share with you. I also read you guys that long drawn out Declaration of Independence. Okay, just a moment again. And here it is here. And this also is one of my collector items. So I have this covered. And most of my books I do cover anyway, with book covers, because I just don't like to get them messed up. Now, my personal books that I read all the time, well, most of them are not covered, but, some of them are. But anyway, you can see this says "We the People," and it goes into that. Okay, so I just wanted you guys to really know when I tell you to read something or to do something, I already have the books. Okay, so let's go hop on right on into the Eagle is the Enemy by Ryan Holiday. And again, this little pocket Constitution I keep in my purse at all times. Okay, just don't get it twisted. All right. Also, I just have a book here that I'm gonna go into because of some conversations that I've had with several people. And this is the Willie Lynch letter, The Making of a Slave, because I think that some of the issues that we have as a people is that some people just don't know, and some people just don't believe when you tell them what the deal is, And so I just have this here because I am going to go in on this probably later on today or tonight. I don't know which one that is yet. But let's get busy with Ryan Holiday here. Eagle is the Enemy. And as you guys can see, I have my books all tabbed up, and I've written in every space. I'm just going to take the book jacket off just for a second because I'm going to go ahead and read the introduction to that. But you guys can see that I wrote in this book on just about every page where there was a spot. And whenever I read some information in here, then I had jotted down my own notes. Okay, and you can see it's just amazing. This is all my writing. All of that. Okay, and I'm going to be reading you just a couple of these in just a moment because I don't want to go too long, and it takes hours to upload this stuff. So, see that? Okay, so, but anyway, let's get on into the book because like I said, I don't want to, just hear myself talking. But before we do, I just wanted to introduce you guys to my best friends here. And these are my selenite crystals that I got in Morocco. Okay, and it's for creativity and clarity. And I use these to cleanse my aura. I use these to stay here so that it helps me say and bring out what I need to say. And so, but anyway, these are selenite crystals, and they're my babies. We've been together for many, many years. Okay, so I keep them here. You probably can't see them half the time because I keep them like that. But anyway, I just wanted to introduce them to you, and I also have my 7 chakra crystals here in my moon little dish here, as you can see. And those are my 7 chakra crystals. And then I have my sage here that I burn. You can see it's been burned. And I have that here to cleanse. And I have a little bird feather along with my other big white feather back there that I use when I'm doing my my meditations, or, you know, swirling my sage over me. But anyway, and to ground myself. Okay, but anyway, here we go. I'm just going to read you guys the introduction, or the, you know, from the prologue in the book. And it says, while the history books are filled with tales of obsessive visionary geniuses who remade the world in their image with sheer, almost irrational force, I found that history is also made by individuals who fought their egos at every turn, who eschewed the spotlight, and who put their higher goals above their desire for recognition. And we all know, we've worked with people who will just run you over, stab you in the back in order to get recognized. Or when you're in a meeting, especially for me as a melanated Moabite woman, being in corporate America with modern Europeans, me being the only one half the time, they always tried to run over me. But guess what? They ran up against the wrong one, okay? Because I would not allow anyone to run over me. Okay, my boss, I was trained by Paris Hilton's grandfather, Conrad Hilton, when I got out of college. And he always told me 2 things. He said, Cynthia, never allow anyone to tell you how much you're worth. And he says, and always, always, always keep your enemies close. And I've always done that. Okay? Many of us insist the main impediment to a full, successful life is the outside world. In fact, the most common enemy lies within our ego. Early in our careers, it impedes learning and the cultivation of talent. With success, it can blind us to our faults and sow future problems. In failure, it magnifies each blow and makes recovery more difficult. At every stage, ego holds us back. That is true because, see, when you operate in your ego, and you know you're in your ego, and you say some stupid crap to somebody, and afterwards you go, oh my God, why did I do that? Why did I say that? That's because you're operating in your ego. And you don't have the sense God gave a millibug to understand that until it's over. But then some people knows how to go back and say, I'm sorry, I apologize for that, and let the person know why they're apologizing and move on with life. But then other people, you have them, they don't really care. They go on, they know they screwed up, but they, you know, just insist on being stupid about it. Okay? So you have various different, you know, areas of people, and you guys know what I'm talking about. Okay? Ego as the enemy draws on a vast array of stories and examples, from literature to philosophy to history. We meet fascinating figures such as George Marshall, Jackie Robinson, Katharine Graham, Bill Belichick, and Eleanor Roosevelt, who all reached the highest levels of power and success by conquering their own egos. Their strategies and tactics can be ours as well. In an era that glorifies social media, reality TV, big mistake on that one, and other forms of shameless self-promotion, the battle against ego must be fought on many fronts. Armed with the lessons in this book, as Holiday writes, you will be less invested in the story you tell about your own specialness, and as a result, you will be liberated to accomplish the world-changing work you set out to achieve. And that is very, very, very important. And that's why I have everyone read that want to work with me in any kind of way, shape, form, or fashion. Read this book, because until you do, we can't do business. Some people think that's crazy, but that's the way I roll, and everybody that knows me and has worked with me knows that. And that's why I am successful. So, And you might have thought that was ego talking, but no, that's fact. Okay. So again, I just want to go through the book in just a moment. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and read some of my own um, um, little quotes that I put in the book. And because the people that I just mentioned that he has in the book, it's just amazing. Their stories you would have to read for yourself. There's no way I can do that in 2 or 3 minutes. Just no way. Okay. But since I've been doing this, and I've done this on my show in the studio all the time, but I'm going to read this to you guys again. And it's statistics for adult readers. And I'll put this in several books of my authors that I deal with as well, because it's so important. Let me read it to you. Statistics for adult readers. Now also remember, these statistics were done in 1986, okay? This is 2020. So you know they're either, I know they're not better, so let's just consider them to be worse, okay? 33% of high school grads never read another book the rest of their lives. Did you hear what I said? Let's go back over that. 33% of high school grads never read another book the rest of their lives. 42% of college grads never read another book after college. 57% of new books are not read to completion. 70% of U.S. adults have not been in a library the last 5 years. 80% of U.S. families did not buy or read a book last year. According to research from Thomas Crowley, 85% of self-made millionaires read 2 or more books per month. And remember, I told you guys that a couple of weeks ago when I asked you how many books had you read so far, and I said if it wasn't 4, at least 4, since this is April, wasn't enough. And that billionaires and millionaires read a book per week, 52 per year. That's what I said. So you can see that I wasn't far off on that, that sentence. All right. So again, before I get into ego is the enemy again with my stuff, I just wanted to go ahead and give a shout out to my brother Abdullah Talib Mosey Bey, who creates this not magazine but newspaper. It's called the Masonic Gate, and he's been doing it for years. And the only reason I have to keep harping on this is because it's so well done. And I know Sabir Bey has done some his newspaper many years ago. And the sad part about it is that no one really supports. He gives this away free. I remember when I first met him many years ago. It's been over 5 or 6 years now. That he used to sell it for just $1. Just $1, and he would charge if you wanted to do advertising in it. But now he gives it to you for free. I mean, for free, and we can't even give it away. I mean, come on, it's ridiculous. So I'm gonna offer it again because I have at least maybe a little under 100 maybe of these papers. So any of you who would like to have one, if you can reach out to my team at contact moortv.com and let them know that you would like to have a copy. And if you just go ahead and send $1 for postage or whatever, that would be great. And I'm gonna go ahead and donate that back to Abdullah for his efforts and his finances that he put so hard in this newspaper. Okay, so without further ado, let me go ahead and get finished with ego is the enemy. And or just a little tidbit, next week we're going to still continue with Ryan Holiday on, stillness is the key. This is another really great book that he wrote, and that goes into meditation and, how to control yourself and so forth and so on.